Local communities are ferociously loyal and protective of their harbors. They are so emotionally attached to these harbors. They're mostly not used for fishing. Some of them are used for recreational purposes. They don't have much purpose anymore except a sort of psychological purpose. They are cultural artifacts and represent the image of a community. So they're really important cultural artifacts and rarely get understood that way by governments, which is unfortunate because they are under threat and they are beloved by their communities.
The history of Bullock Harbour ties in with the history of Dublin Port and Dublin Bay. Dublin Bay is a notoriously dangerous bay for sailing ships to get into Dublin. Various small ports were being developed along the east coast to facilitate ships getting in. Bullock Harbour is one of the few that actually lends itself as a natural harbour. So during the medieval period you have here a medieval castle is built. The port gets involved in 1818 and turns it into the harbour that you see today with its stone and stonework. In many ways, when people come down here to Bullock Harbour during the summer, when it's very, very busy, you just see a very traditional harbour that you'll find along the east coast of Ireland. What Elizabeth is doing is bringing you underneath and showing you what is underneath and bringing it back to the way it would have looked like 500 years ago, which is an amazing skill, and it's great through modern technology and through the hard research that she's done to bring that story back to life.
It's like solving a puzzle that it looked like it had been solved, but actually when you dredge up all this other material and end up with these fractions of pieces and then use the LiDAR to sort of organize all that fractional information and get a much more coherent story, it's very satisfying. So we have a full-scale, three-dimensional model from the outside of Bullock Rocks, all these little houses, down into the harbour, up and around, and to the castle. So all of that analysis work that I've done can be used in the future by archaeologists, can be used in the future by Dublin Port in maintaining the harbour. I did a presentation at Dublin Heritage Centre on the evolution of Bullock Harbour, and the response from the community is actually very interesting because they actually hold a wealth of knowledge inside their heads that have been passed down through generations. One woman at the lecture, when I said this is where that original pier from the 17th century was, and she chipped in that, well, that's interesting because in the community that lives around Bullock, we call that part of the harbour, Harbour Ruin. And they never knew why they called it Harbour Ruin because they've been calling it that for hundreds of years. That's very telling. It's like confirmation that my analysis that ruined pier is there. It is there because the community knew it, but they didn't know it. For the community, it's really enlightening. They suddenly understand more about their harbour and more about the things they half knew. It's amazing when you can unearth material that people have overlooked or misunderstood and give a much more comprehensive history to the harbour.